Hello, good morning. So today we are going to talk about a book which has been written, especially keeping the women perspectives in mind, but also for the fact that we have a lot about the independence movement, the struggles of independence. Of course, our history textbooks are full of it, but the men constitute the most of the portion, and women, very few are actually being mentioned. And the fact is that it is realistic to assume that women were also very much pro in the struggle for freedom, and they were also into a lot of initiative and activities. But since the typical role playing, kind of extends them to just, talking just about say them having some pamphlets to distribute, or writing for the newspaper or periodicals, magazines which were out. Apart from that, not much has been mentioned about how women had to undergo the struggles, especially during independence. So when we are talking about the British Raj, India being a hot country, they would move to the hills and they established their own territories in the hills. They used to go there for the summers and then they used to relax over there. That is where places on the Himalayas, the lower Himalayas, what we call, a lot of hill stations came to be established, and pockets of them had lodges and hotels, and all these places were converted into bustling towns, not cities. They were not cities then, but they were more like towns, bustling towns. But what about the local population? What happened to them? What happened to the aristocrats? Where did they stay? What happened to the cultural differences? In terms of, we already know that they were excluding Indians in everything and try to establish their own supremacy, the white race supremacy, as they used to call it, and a white man's burden. So Shrishti Chaudhary wrote this book, A Shimla Affair, which is basically a book that talks about how Indians, during the British Raj, try to adopt measures, countermeasures, and tactics to overthrow the British anarchy, and try to deal with the disobedience laws and codes which never apply to the Britishers but always apply to the Indians. The skewed legal system, the barbaric treatments, unfair legal practices, administrative chaos, taxes that led to a lot of problems and issues of survival. All these are put in a very uh, meaningful yet subtle way so that it doesn't come out as a very dark novel. Yet it is dark because it talks about a period of India's struggle, which is really very, very dark for us. Famine, high prices of goods, survival was a question mark, and in that we needed some kind of hope in terms of some romance, some understanding of people as human beings, some individual identity out of this whole cultural chaos, and a lot more. So, when I read this book, it was thoroughly engaging. I could go through all the chapters. Sometimes my blood would boil, but sometimes I would cry. Sometimes I would feel that feeling of adrenaline rush. So all these things came up, all the emotions came up when I read this particular book, and we had a great discussion with Shrishti as a part of our caffeinated conversation book club with her, and she gave us a lot of points of reference about how she had put the whole Shimla perspective, the places, and how the people were actually been treated that time, which of the places are really there today, and all the stuff. So it was fun knowing about the back story of this book, then how it happened, how it took shape, and Shrishti is right now working on her PhD and is also looking forward to have our short stories out. So I wish you all the best for that, Shrishti. And I really like this book. So if you all like historical fiction and a bit of romance, do pick this book, A Shimla Affair. Thank you.